Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and Bahamians. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be dealing with the immigration issue, of course. There was a press conference held last Sunday, I think it was, where the three major parties had their meeting. There was a town meeting by the COI. And of course, the PLP party had a press conference, and the FNM had a press conference, and the row was over matters relating to immigration. And Bahamians, we have to take very serious interest in what is happening in the country. You will have all sorts of things, accusations being said to and fro by both major parties. Of course, the COI has their view as well. And Bahamians, you have to try and get the facts as they are. You have to listen carefully to what they're saying. Of course, the FNM has a plan that they want to put forth. And I was able to get some information. I don't think I have all of it, but we're going to open the lines up 326-0272, 813-0271. I should have my two special guests coming in if they're not here already. And one will be online and the other one will be in person. But we will continue nevertheless because immigration is a very serious issue. And people have their views. They think there are too many foreigners, strangers, aliens, outsiders in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I can tell you from personal experience, in the area where I live, I see a lot of people who are not Bahamian. They speak a foreign language. They behave differently. I know what a genuine Bahamian is. They're nothing like me, I can tell you that much. But you have people purporting to be Bahamian citizens. And there are those that have work permits. Apparently, some have gotten national insurance cards so they can pay the national insurance fees that they should be paying by working in the country, and people who were working here with fraudulent documents. I heard that report very clearly. And should they be given permission to work in the country if they were doing things contrary to law? One should be very cautious of people like that as to whether they're going to pay those national insurance fees or not, and whether we have the manpower to monitor. And there's apparently a large influx of them, people who supposed to be setting up businesses, and a lot of Bahamians are now unemployed in the various communities. They're sitting at home while others have these jobs. And there are certain areas where, according to law, they're exclusively open to Bahamians and not foreigners. And yet you find foreigners working in those different positions. It would seem as if we don't have the kind of enforcement when it comes to enforcing the law. Is that because we don't have enough manpower? Is it because we have too many people in here? We don't even know who is in here. We have to find out what we have, and maybe we need to put a hold on a lot of things and check and see what we have, because we can't keep having people just coming in and piling up in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, some getting documents, wanting to be citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have a lot of strangers who do not qualify for citizenship. According to the Constitution, there are some specific requirements that are necessary. And of course, the Nationality Act, there are some people who are questioning that. The Nationality Act is not constitutionally sound. That's point number one. And yet the authorities are using that, quote unquote, to naturalize people. You cannot naturalize anybody legally, constitutionally, according to the Constitution. That ended, and let me specifically say that ended July of 1974, July the 10th, 1974, where provision was made for British subjects who were working here and who may have had children, and they may have wanted to become citizens of the new nation called the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Most of them didn't. They decided to go back home. But you have some other people from another nation which was never part of the British Commonwealth, in large numbers applying for naturalization. There's no naturalization for them. But yet we have that going on even as I speak to you today. It has to be challenged. And there have been those, a few individuals, who had put in a challenge to the Supreme Court. The matter is not yet brought up yet. We've got to find out why it is taking so long for this urgent matter to be cleared up, because what we do see, and I understand from reliable sources, that these individuals want, in fact, some already have voters' cards, but they're not citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and they're going to be participating in the election that is, if we allow it to happen. And you as Bahamians, you have to be aware of what is going on in your country. People working in different areas, and they are not given work permits to do that. They get a work permit for one thing, and they do a whole lot of other things. So who's monitoring all of this? Of course, we have a report from the Minister of National Security. I guess he was speaking on behalf of the Minister for National Security at this particular conference. And he talked about 13,000 persons who were deported from the Bahamas, most of them Haitian nationals, within a 4-year span. When you analyze it, it's about 4,250 per year within a 4-year span. And so the thing is that we have to look at that very carefully and see whether that is so or not. So basically 3,000, not 4,000, 3,000. 4 3s are 12, and 3,250 per year over a 4-year span. So Bahamians, we have to be aware of what is going on in our country, because some things are happening which you're not going to like when you find what's going on. And the question is, what are you prepared to do about it? A lot of people have been complaining about certain things the government is doing, and that's one aspect of it. And I have said to people, and I will continue to push this because it's constitutionally sound, Article 24.1 of your Constitution, which gives you the right to protect your interests. Now, if an administration doesn't protect your interests, and you are depending on that administration to do it, and they don't do it, there's something you can do about it. Number two, if you have a representative or a person sitting in a representative seat, because plenty of people sit in those seats, but they do not give parliamentary representation. But they're sitting in those seats, making money, getting benefits, and what is happening to your constituency, that's a whole different kettle of fish. And you see all these strange people just coming in, setting up shop. They don't speak a word of English, Bahamians. But here they are, and we have this problem all over the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, in places where we had not thought it would be happening, in Andros, in Exuma, even in Cat Island, and other places throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Grand Bahama in particular. And so we have this kind of situation where we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to do as Bahamian citizens? Are we going to sit back and just allow it to happen? Of course, the leader of the opposition, Sir Michael Pinter, talks about a plan that he has, which he will implement if they become the next government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I think Action has to be taken now. And once you are a representative in the House of Assembly, you can take appropriate action to deal with any national issue because you are part of the lawmaking body. Only Parliament makes laws. Parliament consists of Her Majesty the Queen, a Senate, a House of Assembly. So it is the duty of those in the judiciary to carry out the law, and they do have certain latitude. But the thing is that when we look at this matter relating to immigration, we see a whole lot of things that are not really helpful to the Bahamian people. And people are concerned. They want to know what's going to be done, what the authorities are going to do about it, particularly those who exercise the power at this particular time. We have to look and see what they're doing. Well, they said 13,000 were repatriated within that 4 years. And also in that report from the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Munro, they know who are here. They're supposed to have a visa. They're supposed to have a return ticket. Do they return? How long do they stay? 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year? What is the length of time? A whole lot of things. When I looked at what the minister had to say, there's some things that are not being said, and certain things were covered. And he said they know when they come and they know when they leave. I'm not too sure about that. Because when I look around in my own community, all I see is a bunch of strangers. These are not no Bahamians. These are people who don't even speak the language of the country. So how could they be Bahamians? What are they doing here? And you see them all over the place. Some looking for a house, some looking for this, some looking for that. And there are certain things about them that are not the best. And we have to be very, very careful of the persons who we have coming into our country as residents, as citizens. Mr. Producer, we have a call on the line. Oh, Van Dyke. Oh, he's there. Tell him, hold on. I'm going to get, I'll get to him. Yeah, I was wondering whether he was on the line or not. Mr. Taylor, just hold on for a moment. Let me get this out to the public. The point is that we have some things that are happening in our country which does not add up. I read the report more than once, what the Minister of National Security said. I thought we would have the Minister of Immigration. I don't know where he was, why he was not at the press conference. That's one. Number two, they said, at least this particular minister, Wayne Munro, said, they know who is in, when they come in. Talked about millions of dollars. Now, I don't know where these millions of dollars were spent to deal with immigration matters. I don't see any evidence of that, but that's what he's saying. They spent millions to improve the system. Now, some of you out there who know what this system is all about, fine, but all I see is more strangers and foreigners and aliens and outsiders than we ever had before. He said the system's supposed to be stronger. Are they leaving when they're supposed to leave? I can tell you even before he talked about the so-called stronger system, being the justice of the peace, I know Haitian people came to me and I looked in the friggin' passport and the man is still here 3 years later. I said, what the heck are you doing here? You should be out of this place. But 3 years, the man is still in the country. So what kind of nonsense is that? So I don't know about this stronger system that they spent millions of dollars put in place. In fact, it's even worse now because, like I said, that was several years back. And it wasn't as bad as it is now. All I see around me are persons purporting, well, they may be purporting to be Bahamian, but they don't speak English. English is not their language. So what the heck are they talking about? You got to be careful of people who do not speak the national language of your country. In fact, Dr. Miles Monroe warned us before he passed off the scene about people coming into your country, bringing a different culture, bringing a different language, bringing different standards, which are not Bahamian at all, just foreign things that are being added. And then someone had to go out to talk about sharing with them. I'm supposed to share nothing with no stranger, no foreigner, no alien, no outsider. God gave them their country. You're talking about we have to learn to share with them? The answer is no. They ain't sharing nothing with you. You don't even belong here. So we ain't got to share nothing with you. That is why a lot of our Bahamians have so little, because you see what's happening in the hospitals, you see what's happening in the clinics, you see what's happening with social services. They're eating into our social services. They're laying up on those beds in the hospital. No wonder why Bahamians can't get no bed. When you look at the bed, there's one strange person in there. Well, who the heck is that? And this is the kind of system we have, Bahamians. It is not good for nation building. But you have people you gave authority to, and this is where I have to draw the line. You give authority to certain people to run your national affairs. We have not done a good job in monitoring what has been going on for the last 52 years. 52 years and 7 days now. We've done a poor job, Bahamians. We have got to say to those who are running things when they are wrong, we have to tell them, Bahamians. When they're doing good, we tell them that too. But the man said this is the strongest ever of any government, the so-called system what they have now. So I don't know where these other people are here. They may be there on the system. I'd say they got 50 people in the... I had to smile when I read that 50 people in the detention center. Maybe we ain't catching nobody. Maybe they're bypassing us. Then I heard I think it was yesterday, about some people being sent to Haiti and on a flight. But you got plenty coming in. How many be coming in? So the thing is that we have to be very, very careful and watch what is going on in your country, because you may not have a country. If we don't do something about it, we have to start doing something about it today. Van Dyke Bennett Taylor, welcome to Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Of course, I have my good friend here, Brother Cartwright. He comes out regularly on Thursdays, and we're talking about this immigration issue, Brother Cartwright. The statement that was put out by the leader of the opposition, Mr. Pintard, the Honorable Michael Pintard, let me give him his full props, leader of the opposition and leader of the Free National Movement, and also the statement that was put out by the Honorable Wayne Monroe, who was attacking what the leader of the FNM had said, because the FNM leader said this is a crisis, an immigration crisis. They're telling you ain't no immigration crisis. So Bahamians, we're going to think, I'm going to let Mr. Van Dyke start first. Mr. Van Dyke Bennett Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do we have an immigration crisis in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? That's what the man told me. Do you agree with him?
Not. You speaking about the leader of the FNM?
The leader of the Free National Movement and the leader of the opposition in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in the House of Assembly, the Honorable Michael Pintard, said this is an immigration crisis. What do you understand the crisis to be?
Yes, I feel as though it's an immigration crisis. It's a lot of and what I don't like with the Bahamas, we still into this color thing or what have you, because a lot of Chinese is dwelling in the place too. If you go by a lot of these eateries, you see people working, a lot of Chinese. Yeah. And you could see these people don't have no papers because they barely making it. They barely making a profit. So
Yes.
there's no way a lot of those people who might be in the back cleaning and all that. But mainly they focus on the Haitian community,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they it is a crisis. It is a crisis, and nothing against the Haitian or no other foreign place, because if they come to enhance and they abide by your culture, your rules and regulation, they
These
learn
people are not,
English.
listen, they abide by no culture, nothing Bahamian about them.
No,
I see them
no,
all the time. They don't look nothing like me.
no,
They don't behave like me. They don't speak what I speak. We are not
no.
of the same culture. These are strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders in our midst. Now, I don't know what kind of stronger things they put in there. The man tell me they spent millions to improve the system. They know where these people are. They come with a visa. They come with a return ticket. Do they ever go back? You're talking about the Haitians now. That's Wayne Monroe, the Honorable
Yeah,
Wayne Monroe, talking about that. So I'm trying to find out whether what he's saying and what is happening on the ground. I'm just trying to see if we could put the two together to see if it makes any sense.
yeah,
Because they're the ones who are running the system. Go ahead.
yeah. Well, speaking on that system thing, I heard from the former leader of the FNM, Mr. Menace. I heard him say a statement about the laws, and I don't normally agree with him with a lot of stuff, but that one I had to agree with him on, being that we keep on making these laws and going to a House of Assembly, and basically the laws is already on the books.
Okay.
It's like it's already on the books. We just don't enforce it. Like take for instance, like just what you said, the immigration here in America. If if you if they figure out you it becomes a crisis and it gets in the news, they chase you like it's a murder case. They don't care how small the crime might be. They chase you like you'll have like 8, 10 police officers looking for you. That time is just a minor offense. But
Yes.
if they believe that it gets in the public eyesight, like, and that's where the politics come into play. If it get in the public eyesight, then people tend to enforce it a little bit more, less than if it wasn't. Once it get in the public eyesight, even over here, I mean, even in the Bahamas, you figure like right now with the sensitive thing about the Caucasian white female that was incarcerated. She was basically at least arrested at a police station, and a lot of stuff went on the internet, and it was against the Royal Bahamas Police Force protocol for how they went ahead and did the video. But bear in mind, with the immigration, we got to be careful because it's a double-edged sword. Because America, the Haitian community, they have a very, very big community in Florida, inside Louisiana, even parts of New York, and they very educated people. Like so I don't have nothing against, like you say, people coming to the country, because Bahamians in America and all over the world, they taking up resident. But the problem is when you bring in the criminals and people going against the rules and regulation, they breaking laws and stuff. And sometimes, if you see all the cocaine came from what they caught in Haiti, like it's a lot of stuff involved, and it being a lot of like guns and stuff shipping, because if the people could get online illegally, then the question is what they bringing with them,
That
you
is good.
know.
I want you to hold on. I want you to hold on because I have my producer telling me I have a call on the line. Let us see what this caller says, and I'm going to bring in Brother Cartwright when we finish with this caller. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please. The caller is not there. Okay. Brother Cartwright.
Yes, good afternoon, Professor, great producer, and the other caller on the line, Mr. Van Dyke. The problem we have in this country and always been is that we in the Bahamas tend to worry about what others think of us.
That's right.
Because here is the thing. Haiti shares the same landmass with the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic do a massive repatriation. but you don't hear the UN or anybody goes into the Dominican Republic and tell them, hey, that's wrong what you're doing.
Exactly.
See, I keep telling people, if you look at the laws of Haiti's constitution and you watch how they govern
You
themselves,
gotta
how they
push
do
that
things in
first.
their
Hold on.
country, they're more phobic than anyone else. Because even Haitians who born of Haitian parents, some of them are treated as second-class citizens to
Cover.
Haiti. So I'm like, you
I don't
want
want to get scraped.
the Bahamas to break my laws to accommodate you.
It's
They want you to go wherever they go. They want you to adopt their culture and not yours. Because if you talk about it in Brooklyn,
put that. Yeah.
parts of Queens, these people are now taking to the streets whereby that they're attacking ICE. They're in Florida and they're protesting and saying, "That's like, listen, if you overstay in somebody's, it's easy as this. You would not let no one come in your house and then eat your food and then tell you, look here, man, I don't want no crab and go. I want real, or I
Steak.
want my food, my culture food. You must cook that for me.
Yes.
You know that person gotta have a problem with their head. I think we gotta
I
call
think
up.
we do have a call. I just was about to tell you that. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Yes, sir. How are you?
All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Brother
Yes.
Cartwright and
How you doing, Mr.
And you
Cooper?
guessed.
Mr. Van
Yes.
Dyke Bennett Taylor. Two guests
Yeah,
on the air.
I'm not interested in learning his name. The Bahamas has no time for sympathizers right now.
No.
We are in a serious crisis. And the synopsis you, Professor, made at the beginning.
Go ahead.
I think we're losing the caller. I don't know.
I don't know why, but it's
Yeah, but his phone keeps dropping all the
Yes.
time. We're gonna not caller. You'll have to call back, Mr.
Okay.
Producer.
That's you again, caller?
Okay, I'll call back.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, call back. Yeah. Mr.
Yes.
Cartwright, continue, and then
Yes.
we bring Van Dyke
See,
Bennett Taylor on.
my problem I have is this. And, at first I used to be one of those, well, you gotta be humane. Then when I started to,
Why are they asking us to be humane?
but Professor, what I did was for me to understand, I
Yeah.
started to dig into the Haitian constitution and then my travel back and forth into Haiti, and I started to notice some things and I put it together and I said, hold on. These people who come here, right? Most of them are basically so-called poor. Where are they getting the money from to come to the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Either they have their families who are here also illegally, now have a work permit, sending money back home, which we know now 1/3 of Haiti's finances comes from remittance.
Yes.
So, and you also have another thing I look at. The very rich of Haiti never leaves, no matter what kind of crisis hit that country.
They still stay there.
So I'm like, hold on, are these people funding these operations? Because the boats you see, some of them are, and now one time ago the boats used to be registered in the Bahamas. Now these boats are now Haitian boats.
Yeah.
So that means that these sloops are coming in, boats are coming in from Haiti, owned by people in Haiti. So it is a business to them, and if they could basically undermine your system, they would take it as much as you give them and allow them.
Press it down, D.
I will talk right after the
Come on.
Yeah.
break because I saw something in the newspaper that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
This.
Yeah. Okay. We will have two reports. One from the opposition and the minister Monroe. He said some things. We'll deal with that later. My two guests, Mr. Van Dyke Bennett Taylor and his brother Cartwright. Here we're talking about the immigration situation. Do we have a crisis in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas with illegal immigrants? We're being told the government is saying that they know where they are. They say they know, KNOW, know where they are. And they know when they leave. Give me a break, man. They know when they come. And they come with a so-called return ticket. Come on, Bahamians. Do we believe what the Honorable Wayne Monroe is saying? Is it factual? Can we prove it? This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. FM Bahamians, you have to be very, very careful when your leaders say things. We have to get actual, factual data because we don't want to be misled and deceived. Of course, there was a political war over this past weekend, three parties having press conference all basically at the same time or near to the same time, I think around 5 o'clock. And, when you see these people rushing to get information out, there's always a possibility that there can be something said that is not accurate and precise. Now, the man doesn't tell us. He know who is coming in. They know when they come. The man say they know when they leave. He talked about this new system. I don't know what it's all about, but as he just mentioned it in his press statement, costing millions of dollars. And even though when I look around, all I'm saying is more and more people filling up, and we have the family and saying the same thing. Mr. Bruce, we have a call on the line. Okay, caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Professor. I
Yeah,
got
go
a new
ahead.
phone.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay. What I wanted to say is that when you opened the show, the first response from your guest was comparing the Haitians to the Chinese.
Okay.
I am tired of that comparison. We have a lot of foreigners among us. That's a given.
Okay.
But how many foreigners have cities and a nation within among us probably numbers us, and not only not contributing to the economy, but actually subtracting from it.
Yeah.
While
okay.
your minister of security said the other day how many millions and millions we spend trying to find out answers to deal with it, when you and I know how simple it is.
But he's saying this.
America is dealing with it right in the front of our faces. Matter of fact, he said no more dealings with Haiti.
Yes.
Now everybody will say, "Oh, that's a black thing or racial thing." That guy he started talking about.
Okay.
But this is an economical thing. This is a lack of appreciation thing. This is a competition for who will rule this country. As somebody mentioned just now, they're going to start walking the streets so they can vote. This is absolute madness, like everybody knows. And I thought this was covered last Sunday with you sitting right there on beside Lincoln Bean. I mean, I couldn't hear it. I haven't heard it expressed so explicitly. And still, we have people like this gentleman over here. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Brother Cartwright, and then we'll get back to Van Dyke Bennett Taylor.
What I was saying that I saw there was an accident over the weekend, and when you have tragic deaths and accidents, it is nothing to be trivial about.
No, it's not trivial at all.
Looking at this article, it said that this lady and her daughter and was another person.
Okay.
But by the names they give here, they basically were Haitians.
Okay.
But then as I deep into the article, they were speaking to her brother, and he said that he had just come to the Bahamas a couple of months to live.
Yes.
And I'm like, are we giving out status in months? Because that's what he said. And then you went in, then it goes further, and he said that his sister was living here in the Bahamas since 2010.
Yes.
So I'm like, did she meet the requirements where she had renounced and followed the law to get her access? Because now her name was Natasha David, and her daughter name was Nayaka St. Fleur. So that means that the father of Nayaka was also a Haitian,
Yeah.
as well as the mother. So
Okay.
means that none of them should have been here if they did not apply to the law. And so when you look at these things, you have this all over the place, because when I tell people that, let's be real. Yes, we do have an immigration crisis, and it's not just only looking at the Haitians only, but
Okay.
all of the migrants who are here. Because if you look at it now, just walk down Bay Street. There's nothing Bahamianized in most of the stores you have downtown.
Okay.
If you walk most of the jewelry stores, it's either run by the Indians or the Pakistanis. If you look at the massage parlors now, they're run by the Cubans.
Yeah.
If you go into the straw market, it's basically saturated with people from Haiti.
Yes.
If you go to Fish Fry, most of the stalls you see are operated by Haitians. But also, what I see in the inner city too, the liquor stores, the food places, the convenience stores are now being run by Jamaicans, Chinese, and Haitians.
Yes.
But one of the major things that I notice is that we have people amongst us, organic Bahamians, who's selling out the country because they know that, listen, these people cannot get no business license. But what they do, they put their names on these business license for a couple of dollars. It's like Esau for a bowl of porridge.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then when things happen, you see these places are closed down and you wonder why. And then all of a sudden you start to look, you find, they move on to some other area
Yes.
and they use somebody else.
Somebody else.
And I remember speaking with the minister who was talking about this over saturated of liquor stores in the inner city. And I said to them, you got Bahamians, you need to now show our people, listen, what you're doing is wrong.
Yes.
If you can sell out your country, you're just as bad as those who coming in.
That's right.
So so there's no problem. There's no plausible reason for you to now, because we all know anyone over the age of 50 that same areas in this business was run by Bahamians.
Yes.
Now those areas are now run by migrants. Even look at the cab system. Everything is now being ostracized. So for the minister to say that he don't see a problem, I think the minister is being untruthful.
No, they're saying there's not an immigration crisis. That's what
I
the
think
minister's saying.
he's being untruthful.
No, that's fine. I have no
Yeah.
problem with the remark. You have a right to make the remark. I wanted my producer to tell me I have a caller. Caller? Oh,
Fernando.
Delta. Oh, he has the tape for Delta
Yes.
and Fernando. Okay, Brother Taylor, just hold on. We're going to play this tape from the leader of the Christian Council, Mr. Delton Fernando. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
I want to say is, as a country, we must embrace all, but as I said, be firm but fair, enforce our laws. We have bad examples in the world today. There's a lot of this going on where certain races and places are being treated in certain manners. I'm saying to us as Bahamas, let's show the world how to do it right. Let's take care of our laws, let's enforce them, but let's show the kind of care and concern that we should to people who need our help, because one day it might be us.
I can tell them the leader of Christian Council, we got to be a little bit stronger than that.
Yes.
We have been too kind to these wicked people. And you can tell me, but I must be humane to them while they're trying to kill me? What kind of crap is that?
Professor.
Hold on. He takes such a weak position.
Yes.
And supposed to be leader of the Christian Council, man. What kind of crap is that? I mean, this is utter nonsense and foolishness. Let me see if I could bring Mr. Taylor in. Mr. Taylor. Taylor, you there?
Yes, I am.
You heard what the Christian Council president said?
Yeah.
What kind of crap is that? What are you talking about? I am tired of people telling me as a raw-born Bahamian, I must be humane to these wicked people, man. Are they trying to kill me? And I must be humane to them? What kind of nonsense is this? We have been more loving and more kind to these strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders to the detriment of our own country. How much more humane we must be? Ask them to be humane by staying in their own country, man. That's what you need to do. But you're always putting pressure on the Bahamian people for strangers, for foreigners, for aliens and outsiders. And of course, as Brother Cartwright said, you got some who's selling the country out. A couple of dollars. Go ahead, Brother Taylor.
Yeah, it's it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that because the Christian Council, bear in mind, they have a variety of people, and that it's a business they run in also. So you got to be careful who foot you step on. So sometime they have to get involved in basically taking a side when it comes to like immigration and stuff like that, because I sorry to say, but the Bahamas look like it's made up of at least 35% Creole now. At least 35% might be Haitian, and the Bahamas are affiliated with it. So I sorry to say, but look like if we don't be careful, the culture is gonna change.
Yes, it would change if we're not careful. Brother Cartwright,
Yes,
you comment on this.
Brother Van Dyke, you said a mouthful.
Yes, you did.
So imagine if 35% is Haitian, right? Then you add
Yeah.
the Chinese, the Jamaicans, the Indians, the Cubans. Then you add it up. You're now looking at the Bahamian is now the minority. When you add them all together. But one thing I always tell people is this. When you look at your constitution and the preamble,
Again,
and
right
this
by
is what they say to all, whether it's
live
you're
on it.
a religious person or not, or you're a parliamentarian or not. I said, here is the key words in this. It tells you about Christian and spiritual values.
Yeah, that's right.
When you look at all of these different people who are now living in our country, these people bring their culture with them, which means that they bring their religious beliefs.
Of course they do.
So if you are Haitian, most Haitians believe in voodoo.
Yeah.
If you're Cuban, most Cubans believe in Santeria, which is another form of voodoo.
Yes.
If you are Indian, you believe in worshiping Buddha
Yeah,
or
worship
Hindu.
the cow.
So all of these things is
All
not
these things.
culturally
No,
Bahamian.
they're not.
So then you allow all of this different type of culture to fester amongst you. I always tell people that I always remember the day of that independence preaching by the late Ari Cooper.
Yes, he did.
And he showed you that he went back to the biblical side of it. And we got to understand that is why our Constitution is crafted the way it is, because it is crafted with a little bit of biblical ideology in it. And so when you look at the Bible, it tells you that when they told Moses them to go into the new land, Moses didn't get into the new land. Joshua was told to go into the land of Canaan and to get rid of the people.
Drive them out.
Get rid of them. Means that
Right.
you don't want any of those people. And then further down in the Bible and the Old Testament, they tell you, listen, do not take wives of those who are not of your view. So
That's
means
good.
now,
That's correct. Yes.
when you start to mix and intermingle, and you allow people to come in, saw with Solomon, when they told him, the prophet told him, man, you got all these strange women bringing their strange
Yes.
culture. This is going to be a downfall.
That's
And if
right.
you look at it today, look at the Bahamas today. We don't even know who we are today. If you walk around in the inner city where I live, and I always tell people this, every day I see a new face, and I was like, where did this person come
Come
from?
from, yes.
And you don't, all of a sudden, you don't see them, but you hear them. And remember one time ago, people used to be afraid to speak in their native tongue outside of their home. Now they speak their native tongue openly, and they look at you and say, listen, man, if you don't like my language, you better learn it.
Ah,
This is where we now are as a people and as a country.
yes.
And what we don't understand is that the more we sit here and we keep allowing, and I keep telling people this, every constituency has a representative, a parliamentarian. If you do not voice your displeasures about the ills in your community to that person, he is going to go to parliament and pretends that nothing needs to be done. And when you see that, that's what you get. And we get mad and we cry and we upset. But I always tell people this, I go to anyone who comes into my community and say they want to run in this next election. I will ask you those questions on immigration. I will ask you those questions on, and I will keep asking until I get answers. And if the answers are not to my liking, once election comes around, I know how I can put my X.
Exactly.
You know, people ask me, well, when is election? This one saying election this year. And I told him, I said, you listen to carefully what the Minister of Foreign Affairs said yesterday. Election has a date by the end of October. But he said he could see it happening sometime next year before October. So means that this administration will let it run until, like you say now in the US and other countries, we got to understand that your first rule of law and allegiance as a parliamentarian is to the citizens who elect you. You cannot show allegiance to migrants who has no say into your governance. Once you start to allow them to have an input, you now change the dynamics of the country. And then basically what happens is that you've given up the rights that you're supposed to give to your people, to others, and you're going to find yourself down a slippery slope that will be hard to recover from.
No, you're quite right about that. Brother Taylor? Is Brother Taylor there?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
here. Yeah, like he was saying, we gotta stand for principle.
Yes.
And just like how some stuff what Donald Trump said, which I think it was just politics. He said that he don't mind the Mexican coming in or the foreigners, but when they come in, he don't want the country send him the junk, the criminals, and the people who basically gonna bring havoc to your country. Because bear in mind, you could get quality foreigners, which could enhance your whole country. But I mean, how many of them gonna leave? Who's gonna leave their country to come to the Bahamas, unless you're a Cuban or something? So very rare, because most people who are successful in Haiti or in Jamaica, more than likely, they're rich people. They're not gonna leave Jamaica or Haiti to come to the Bahamas. So we always gonna get the ones what basically might be controversial and stuff like that. And with protesting laws and stuff like that, and like things which you have disagreement in, comes violence. And if you notice, like in Haiti and in Jamaica, we never had it to that level because we ain't that type of people. But it could get to that level where blood gonna be shed. If they keep on going. That's the thing when you have immigration crisis, sometimes blood is about to shed, like over time. Like if they have enough numbers, they'll rise up. And that's the only thing what I fear. That's the only thing what I fear with the immigration crisis. Like I say, if people educated and stuff, leave them, keep them in the country. But when you see guys them into criminal activity, they come down illegally and all that. Once a person started illegal, ain't no end to that. If I come to your country legally, that means I'm already displaying dishonesty. Then the question is, what's going to be next from coming illegal? That's the question, and that's...
Yeah, it has been reported that persons have been getting national these cards, national insurance cards. I think we have a call on the line, Mr. Producer. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Oh, good afternoon, Professor.
Yeah, what you say?
And good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon to all the guests.
Good afternoon.
Professor, man, I listen to the thing, man, listen to the both of them talk. I don't want to say this. I want to say this to all these politicians who leave. You're leaving the office and he ain't preferring nothing to the Constitution. Professor, you need to pat yourself on the back for teaching us the Constitution. You ever see them come out the office and they run around with things? They need to go back and say, check on this, check on this. Professor, listen here. They say you don't need to pass no law. There's enough law there. And Professor, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he had the worst, alleged now. There's people who are saying it. He was one of the worst prime minister. But I agree with that. You really don't need to pass no law. How you teach us the Constitution? And Professor, let me say this. Do you know who in charge of any kind of flag in the Bahamas? The police, the missioner, Main Monroe. And he's supposed to check if you got a Bahamian flag. If he see that, it isn't the law. Our ancestors was off the chain. It isn't the law for him to come and check it. Grab that flag and see if that's the right type of blue or the right type of black or the right type of yellow. I say, what is this? These are awesome things in our law. And you know why, Professor? Professor, I won't say, you still left, Professor?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Professor, listen here. I don't know why these people is run to get in these office. They run to get in these office to change these laws. I allegedly now, because listen, all these things in place and no one enforcing these things.
Okay.
Nobody supposed to have no kind of flag day. And Professor, man, I got to say this, but I hope nobody go. I wish I had a white man to say this for me. How come this little broke down country ain't got no government, ain't got nobody? My Professor, I have to say it. You can't land no boat in these people's country, and these people, everybody coming in this country, and all our leaders, PLP, F and them, and think y'all don't say your leaders and everybody just coming in the country, packing up everything, packing up the grandma and the kingdom, and they're sailing. And you can't land a boat in these people's country. My God, from Zion, I got to look at these leaders. I can vote for them, but I got to look at them cross-eyed. I got to look at your cross-eye. And for Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 1. Professor, that's all I got for today.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Brother Cartwright?
Yes, it's funny because like right now on Facebook, or not Facebook, but yeah, on Facebook and even on WhatsApp now, you're seeing some stuff that went down in Haiti or around Haiti with the drug bust, and then you're now finding out that the individuals who were involved, most of them are deceased, killed, or whatever.
They said three Bahamians were killed.
And the thing is this, and I told people that we always used to sit down and talk about it. And, I'm speaking from a little bit of experience with family members and other things, but
Yes.
that movement, when you coming into the Bahamas, in that area of Haiti, doing drugs and stuff, there's only one way you can come through that passage between Haiti and Cuba, which is the Windward Passage. Nobody normally tries to go near the Cuban coast because the Cuban gunboats, they prepared to either arrest you, and if you fire on them, they will sink you.
Okay.
The Haitian government, when they had a government, they had 4 bases around Haiti for their coastal waters. There was one around the area, which is basically right where those guys were caught.
Yes.
And there's the next one in the capital. So basically, I was saying, there were reports that they didn't know who these people were who shot at them. Then there was some saying it's Jamaicans. Then they said some were saying it's the Haitian police. So I'm like,
Yes.
everyone now knows, they mightn't admit it, but the drug trade now, what used to be run by Bahamians is no longer run by Bahamians now.
Okay.
It's run by Haitians and others. So for Bahamians to be taking that chance, along with Jamaicans, someone had to knew they were out there, was waiting.
Someone had to know. Yes.
And they probably went to take the stuff from them, and those guys probably put up a fight, and basically they were killed.
Yes.
Now, what I don't understand, and I'm saying tell people is, you've got the U.S. Coast Guard in that area. You've got the Bahamas Defense Force. You've got the Kenyans, all of those around the capital, around them waters. You mean to tell me that no one can tell us what really went down through our foreign affairs and the embassy, what really went down in that incident? Because somehow it is being close to us. And I said, if that was someone, other country that happened to their citizens,
Yes.
they would have pulled out of Haiti. They say, you know what, man, if you can't give me proper report,
Yes.
my people park it up and be coming home.
Yeah, but the Minister of Foreign Affairs is talking about the fact that they are waiting for a report from the Haitian police.
Well, the Haitian police isn't that. If the Haitian police had that much authority, then you would have no need for this international
force
to be
Yeah,
there.
you're quite right. Yeah.
So, I just look at things and I hear and I said, I hear what you're saying, but I know what you're saying ain't making sense, because if you had such a good force, you don't need outside help to help you curb crime.
Curb crime. Yeah, that's right.
So, and all these things. So then we look at it. We must enforce the law. We might have to make some amendments and make them stronger, but we must enforce our immigration policies. And we cannot allow no one, I don't care whether it's China with its big money or you're looking at the Haitians, it's cheap labor. Because, I used to remember as a child, they used to say, well, the Haitians only come in here to go to Miami.
Yeah.
And I've noticed over years, I was like, boy, Miami must be moved because a lot of them still here.
Yeah, they're still here.
So,
too many.
So many. So
too many right now.
We need people in office who will now enforce the law.
I think my producer is being patient with me because he's playing this music in my ears. Yeah, it's getting louder now. That means we got to get out of the way. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. It's such fun being here on the radio station. And we got some serious matters to deal with. There's some comments I will say when we get back. But Taylor, stay on the line. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. My special guest was the card writer, Mr. Van Dyke Bennett Taylor. We'll be back after the break. FM Bahamian, so many things are happening, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to keep up with all these events that are occurring in the Bahamas. We're losing Bahamians. I understand 3 Bahamians were lost or were killed. Let me use the word killed, and since I used the word killed, they were killed in Haiti. And of course, as I said before the break, that the Minister of Foreign Affairs is saying they're waiting for a report from the Haitian police. I don't know how that's going to work out, but it doesn't seem to me, and Bahamians, you can comment on this if you wish, it doesn't seem as if our government is taking a strong stand to assist Bahamians when they're in trouble. I know of a particular situation that happened to a family member of mine some time ago, and the weak position that the government takes when people are in trouble. You need a government that you can depend on, no matter what they may be accused of being involved in. That's not the issue. But the fact is, 3 lives have been lost, family members are concerned, and it doesn't seem as if we're getting the kind of support from the government of the Bahamas in being able to help these people through this crisis, because it's very, very difficult for a family to be able to maneuver, particularly in matters like this. So we need a government that can assist Bahamians when they're in trouble overseas. Brother Taylor, you there? Brother Taylor? I'm not hearing Brother Taylor. Taylor, you there? I'm Cartwright. Go ahead, please.
Yes,
Because I guess he
Sunday passed,
Mhm.
and I mentioned this to someone yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I said, it's amazing how that grouping called the Patriots been ringing the alarm bell on the issue of immigration.
Yes.
And it's so funny that on Sunday past, the 3 political parties
Yeah.
all spoke on immigration. And I was like, wow, I've never seen whereby that you had all 3 spoke on the same day, on the same subject.
On the same subject, yeah, that is correct. That was unusual.
I said that was a powerful move by that grouping called the Patriots, because they're the ones been bringing up and sounding the alarm and was explaining how this situation of immigration has gotten out of hand.
Yes, it is.
I've listened to, and I've read the articles by Mr. Pintard and Mr. Monroe, the minister.
Yes.
And after listening to Mr. Bain, and I said, out of all of those individuals, I must say that the Minister of National Security had one of the weakest response, because
yes,
you cannot tell me, you saying that everyone who enters this country has a visa or a
return ticket. That's what you said.
If I come in this country by boat, smuggling, you think I can't look for any visa? Come on, Mr. Minister. We ain't gonna ever look for return
But he's
ticket.
saying they know where everyone is.
Mr. Minister,
They know when they come in. That's what the man put in the freaking report, man.
I know, but the minister, like my dad used to say, I'm being kind to you by saying you're talking a lot of untruth. Because many of us know in the inner cities, we've seen them. We've even know, we could tell you when some people, when we look at some of them, today they reach, and you look around, the next day they disappear.
And disappear, yeah.
I mean, this place, I never seen them in this community before, but now,
right.
And when you walk upon some of them, you speak to them, they now realize, but look here, these people them are very protective of their neighborhood. You don't see them no more. They just,
disappear. Yeah.
So for him to tell us that they know, Minister, all due respect, we were not born this morning. Please, Mr. Minister, don't treat us like we kindergarten schools, man. Even the kindergartners know better. So his response was not kind on the behalf of our administration that runs this country. That was very weak. Now, Mr. Pintard made his input, and I believe that some of the things that the former administration was trying to do, they ran away from it.
Yes.
And that is their downfall. But this immigration problem now has to be solved by the citizens and their representatives.
That's right.
And the representatives understand this now. You are not a PLP in Parliament. You are a parliamentary representative for the constituency that elect you, and your job is to make life better.
That's
You
right.
got to make sure the laws of the country and the Constitution are followed. This has nothing to do with your party. Now, if you want to do with your party, now when you come out of that building called the Parliament or the Senate, and you go sit down in privacy of your own home, or you go to the headquarters, that you can discuss that there.
Of course.
But in those two buildings, your job is to basically discuss issues and come with solutions for the Bahamian people to see that. Listen, okay, yes, I see what they're doing. I understand what they're doing. Bring clarity to the problem, because we always sit down and say, oh, well, then we get in, we can do this. And I always say to them, you don't need to be the administration of the day to get things done.
That's correct.
And this is why I try to tell people every day. I told someone this yesterday. Every member of our Parliament and Senate in the 5 years sitting in those two places should at least table one positive bill to build the lives of the Bahamian people.
That's right.
Just one. I'm looking for them to bring 5 and 10. Just one. So that means if every member of the Senate and every member of the Parliament bring one bill that improves the lives of the Bahamian people, we will have a better run country.
Yeah, we will do. Mr. Taylor, you there? I'm not hearing Mr. Taylor. I don't know. We might have lost him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And
Okay.
so, like
Yeah.
I say again, Professor, immigration is a serious.
It's a very serious
I think I
matter.
see Mr. Taylor. I see you, bro.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
asking for you, but we could not. We were not hearing
Oh
anything.
yeah, because it having a mic problem. It having a mic
Oh,
problem.
okay.
Yeah. Like he said that you talking like 5 years. You should be able to like improve the lives of Bahamian people. And I mean
Yeah.
at the same time too, they have to put prevention in place, because like sometime they need help too. Because a man working for government over 20 years, they either gambling or have a sweetheart on the side. You can't get no profit from that. And then you blame the government. And sometimes if you look in the mirror, it could be you the whole time. Because no
Yeah.
matter what, because what happened is, I think the government, what I don't like about the government is that they don't share truth. They'll put it in the books, but they're not going to put it in the forefront, because they really don't want everyone going after.
Yes.
I figure like some of the laws is designed for people to come on the blind side and take it all. And you notice they'll put it on the books, but they're not going to shed light to it. They're not going to put a lot of light to it. And that's the only thing that I dislike. And it comes over as dishonesty. Everyone trying to grab something. And then, like I remember one time someone said to me, oh, them people is not going to steal. They got money. I'm like, what politician got money in the Bahamas different from Brent Simonet? What do y'all call money in 2025?
Yeah, that's a false way of putting it. If they have money, they won't steal. The economy.
Yeah, stealing have nothing to do with money. Matter of
Nothing
fact,
to-
the guy with a billionaire, he might steal more from me.
Exactly.
He
He
might, yeah.
He
So
has access to do more damage. than anybody.
yeah. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, I figure that the country should set up. They should set up a program, and then just like how Brother Cartwright said, community have to be involved.
Yeah.
Community have to be involved, because that's where it all starts. Here in America is the same thing.
See, the thing is, what I found out with the government of the Bahamas, well, let's say the Parliament of the Bahamas then, because we have a caller, Mr. Producer. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we're
Pretty
doing
good, sir.
We're doing good, yeah.
Pretty good,
All
sir.
right, the gentleman that's the gentleman who's talking about. He came back in, right?
We wanted to bring him in. He's on the line, yes.
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah,
Taylor.
Sicky, what's going on? Yeah.
Right here, bro.
But Thompson, I finally get to see how Dwayne Island look. Like how he's on Clint Watson Monday night.
Oh,
Now I can
okay.
put a face to the voice.
All right, okay.
Yeah. But Sicky, I agree with everything what you're saying. But the national security minister, he have more spin than Island left.
Yes.
Boy, I agree with you, but he talking plenty foolishness. And Brother Thompson, I laugh when you say 50 people in the detention center, boy.
That's what the man tell me.
Yeah, that's what he's telling us. So, he think we stupid. Yeah. And like someone really, you got to do your research. We got to check that 18,000 would get sent back.
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I have a problem with that too. And you say calling and touching on the Haitian situation.
Yes.
I agree with you all too. If the gentleman in the blue shirt, he only was look like he gets shot in his arm, and he got to put up one arm, and then you see the video of him on the operation table sitting up talking and cheering good. Then a couple of minutes after, he's dead.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, something ain't right with that, man. Something ain't right with that.
Something's wrong with that.
I hear the rumors and everything. I hear they kill him, they suffocate him and kill him. They talking about y'all Bahamians and how they treating us and all that of foolishness. But we got to look into that for you. But you say, Wayne Mullins, he waiting on the Haitian police.
Yeah, the Haitian police.
I am saying he waiting on the Haitian government. So I was wondering what government he talking about. I mean, Fred Mitchell.
Fred Mitchell said he's waiting for a report from the Haitian police.
Yeah. I know.
How can you expect to get that?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, you gentlemen continue, man. I continue listening.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Brother Taylor, you can come in.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, with I understand that drug bust, that was an operation over, I understand, over a month.
Okay.
That operation, that's the intelligence on that operation. They didn't just run up on those guys. That was an operation within a month with at least
I think we lost him again.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Brother Taylor.
So basically,
Cartwright,
I basically the same thing. So means that was an operation put together between the U.S. and everybody else.
Okay.
Now the problem I'm starting to look at is that if these police officers, so-called policemen of Haiti, made or so-called tried to make the apprehension, they didn't look like they were trying to apprehend them for a conviction.
Okay.
Because we all know, pardon me if I say this, but we all know drugs is a very pricey commodity.
Of course.
Whether we like it or not. But if those persons were not really police, and they basically pull up on those guys and realize, listen, what they got there is valuable commodity, they will take that. And if I want to see, there is no witness.
No witness at all.
If you notice how that went down, one report saying that the Asian police called saying that the Jamaican fellas jump overboard and they drowned.
Yeah.
I said, who's going to jump overboard in that deep water there?
That's right.
And then they said they were fired upon and they returned fire.
Mm-hmm.
If fellas them running from enforcement, they ain't trying to basically get into no confrontation because they know what could happen.
That's right.
So, everything about the whole situation is a little bit shady. And like Brother Van Dyke said, we saw another gentleman saying that, yes, they showed where the fellow, they showed him on, and then all of a sudden now, he's deceased.
He's deceased, yeah.
And so all of these things, we have not got clarity on what went down. And I think that the Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Security needs to basically ask for some clarity, because just like I tell people, even though what they were doing might have been wrong, but they're still citizens of your country.
Citizens of the Bahamas, yes.
And if anyone
that takes priority,
and if that was happening to anybody else in another country, they would want in our waters. They would want us to.
They would want us to
give clarity.
Of course, definitely.
There's certain things that we believe in. Law is law.
Right.
And so when you look at it, like I was telling someone the other day, and he asked me, said,
"Thank you.
What's your opinion on immigration?" I said, "Man, listen.
Yeah.
I used to get upset, and I say, stop getting upset." And I said, "Here's the reason why. We've got a lot of things on our books." And I said, one of the biggest problems I saw with immigration, and I remember going back, one time there was a friend of mine who was having some problem, who was from Jamaica, and I went to the system and I looked at it and I told him, I said, listen, it's going to be one-time thing, I would help you out, but the law is the law.
Exactly.
He wanted an extension and I helped him got it. And once that was up, I told him, okay, bro, you got to go home. That's the law. They'll not give you another one. You don't have sufficient money to sustain yourself. So you got an extension, you're on vacation, they give you that blight. Soon as that, don't wait for them to come looking for you. Go home. And I noticed that in an immigration, every Tom that can hire you works in the immigration department, knows about everything that goes on in the department. And I always tell people that national security and your immigration department, along with foreign affairs, supposed to be certain levels that patients should have access to. So if you are a level 1 clerk, you should not have access to files. Now, you might be able to take applications and then forward to the next level.
Yes.
There's a level of security we need to have in place. Secondly, I always told people that I now believe that when it comes to workers or migrant workers, whatever, we should have a number. So you should go to construction sites and say, okay, how many people you would let you look, and they say, oh, I need no. We want, these people coming here must be specialized. And if they come to the Bahamas, they must train 1 to 3 Bahamians.
Yeah.
Each year you hear on that permit. Same thing with work permits.
Yes.
Thirdly, I'm saying we need to move away from just giving out work permits. For me personally, I would put a moratorium. And then what I would do is now, okay, if you come into the Bahamas, you want to work, you gotta be for 5 years. Only people who get a 5-year work permit are married people. So the individual got to show me proof of his marriage certificate. If he's a single person, you'll only could get 3 years. So you got to now restructure, and then you put a limit on how many people you allow into the country to work in a certain period of time, and then you let them know, look here, once this time is up, you go home, and I don't see you in 5 years.
That's right.
And I also now believe that this is how I feel now. This is no political, this is me. I think now that we need to now start to create a different color card for those who working in the Bahamas who are non-Bahamians. We need to set up a separate fund away from the funds for Bahamians. We need to now let people know if you're coming in the Bahamas, if you're going to use our public schools, you have to pay for these things because these were not designed for us to take care of other people's children. If you're coming into our healthcare facilities, you have to pay. All of these things should be put out and printed so that when you want to come to Bahamas looking to work, you say, man, if this is what I got to do, I got to pay for, in my second year till my last year in Bahamas, I got to pay for my work permit, but I think I won't go there. If I got to pay for healthcare on all these stuff to use these facilities, I won't go there. See, you got to come up with ways to deter.
To deter them, yeah.
You have to have a deterrent to make people
them.
To come down on it. Now, you have some people coming, you said, okay, you come into my country legally, and if you're using forged documents, you go to jail. You will be prosecuted by the law.
Now,
I send you home.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I understand, and I heard this several times on the radio, that there are persons who have national insurance cards who came on false documents working in the Bahamas, and they have evidence of it. But now, instead of prosecuting them and sending them out of the country, they have them working in the country.
No,
what kind of nonsense is that?
Say, Professor, 2 wrongs to make a right.
But this is what the current administration is reported to be doing.
Yeah, but you cannot see because what you're doing is defeating the purpose. See, because if you say that you want to help Bahamians work, and one of the things that upsets me a lot, people always say to me, well, Bahamians don't want to work, the young men don't want to work. I said,
that's nonsense.
I said, if you're going to pay someone minimum wage, they said, yeah, well, that's a start. I said, yeah, but here's the problem. What is the currency rate exchange in Haiti to the Bahamas?
Compared to the Bahamas, yeah.
Then you look at what other countries' currency rate is to compare to ours. If I basically coming in from a country like Haiti, Jamaica, or an African country where my currency is almost 1,000 to 1.
1,000 to 1.
I will take the least you
off. People take it.
Because if I can stay in your country for 5 months,
yes,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for you, yes.
So imagine if I stay in your country for 5 years.
Boy, that's even worse.
I go home almost as a millionaire.
Exactly.
So I can do certain things. And so when you look at it, if you don't take action to curb it, it will get worse.
It will get worse.
And what you got to do, and I remember meeting my cousin at the CARICOM premier child's missing. And I remember the minister of immigration at the time said to me, if we find you as a Turks Islander hiring someone who don't have proper documents, we will charge you and them. And so now when I look at it, it's like, wow, they're trying to fight illegal migration in their country. We sit here and we say, like, we're gonna send you, put you in a detention center, and we waiting to make up the numbers. No, we should have a budget for repatriation so that once you get inside that place and you break the law, soon as you serve your time, my friend, you go to the detention center, your return ticket is waiting. You go to the airport, we have your return ticket, and we take your photo and say, listen, if I see you in my country in the next 5 years, I will then persecute you, and then now you'll be on my stop list forever. So you got to take these drastic measures to protect your sovereignty. For instance, I was Saturday, I went into the food store, and when I keep walking around through the house, I saw at least 15 young ladies. And if 10 of them were Bahamians, I was wrong.
Exactly.
Majority of those young women, they were pregnant and they were non-Bahamians.
And see, that is what they do.
And I
They
said,
want to have babies in the Bahamas.
but they don't, and here's my problem, and here's what I always tell people. Having a child in the Bahamas doesn't guarantee you or your child status in the Bahamas.
That's correct.
Because the Constitution tells you that that child will have to return to his home of origin, which is his mother or father's home,
Right.
and he has 1 year at the age of 18 to apply.
18 to 19.
And if he doesn't meet all of the qualifications that is laid out in the Constitution, he does not get citizenship.
That's correct.
Period.
That's right.
Same thing with the women. And so we've got to now do like how they do in the Arab countries. When a woman goes into those countries to work, they tell you right here, you come here to work.
Not to have
You ain't come here to have no. If you start, we see where and we checking you on a regular basis. So
Gotta
once
go.
they send you home to your country
Right.
to have your child.
Yes.
Now, once that child is born, if you don't want to come back, cool with them.
That's right. You could
But
stay
they
right
let you
there.
know you ain't come here and try to have a bunch of children and change the dynamics of our country.
And that's exactly what's happening in the Bahamas. They come on here, boats, and
Yeah.
some other way into the Bahamas to change the dynamics of this country.
I missed one last one. Like,
The government of the Bahamas is not watching that carefully. And the man is trying to make me believe in this crappy report that he's put out that they know where everyone is. I don't believe that. They know who is coming in. They know when they leave. This is what the man put right in the report. I got it right on my
I saw
desk.
the report, Professor, but here's the thing. They can't give you an account of who all entered the country legally
No, they can't.
and then they leave. So what do you think about someone entering the country
Illegally.
legally?
Yes, that's correct.
And also, I would rather the minister be honest. And yes, you will catch a flack for it, but then be honest. Because if you be honest, people will respect you more.
Of course you would.
People will be looking at you as being shady, but when you telling the people, well, you know. And the worst part about it is that you telling these people that who live in these communities, because you know what I realized, and we talked about it the other day.
Yes.
When they knocked down the shanty towns, the government did not do any apprehensions.
No apprehension, none.
And so what do you think happened? Those people moved into where? They didn't move into Old Fort Bay.
No.
They didn't move into
Life with King.
Lyford Key. They didn't move into
Blair.
Blair. They didn't move into Winton Heights. They didn't move in
Albany.
Palm Key or Albany.
Albany, yeah.
They came where basically the average Bahamian live in the inner city.
In the inner city, yes.
And we could see it because we know, one thing we know in the inner city, we could tell you anything on our block, if it's a place of residence, if it's empty,
Yes.
or if it is in poor
And
condition.
they're always looking for buildings.
And once you look around, you say, boy, someone said, boy, such and such a building was empty. You said, what happened? Now, boy, I see one family moving there.
Exactly.
And you say, what family? You check it out. They ain't no Bahamian. So how is it that you don't know where these people are and you claim? And we know a lot of them when you see them, because we always tell you this. In the inner city, you can tell someone new in your community.
Of course you can.
Because one thing you can learn, but people who move into a community who don't live in that community, they always looking around or they trying to find themselves be aware.
We see them standing in the street
streets.
in front of people's place.
Yes.
Because we had to run some from around my place. Okay? Because I tell them plainly, I don't want you around here. Just get away from here. And these people are not Bahamians. So I don't know what this man talking about. They know who is here and they know when they come, they know when they leave. What I've seen is a proliferation of strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders. It's even worse now. I told you, as a justice of the peace, and I'm still a justice of the peace, the man come for me to perform service when I look in his friggin' passport. He's been here 3 years. Huh? I say, you don't even supposed to be in here. What the heck are you doing here? This is Professor Sidney McGard, Walter Thompson. The lines are open 326-0272-813. 0271. Bahamians, we have problems, and our government, through this particular personality, is not being honest and upfront with us in this report that was published on Sunday. I'm very disappointed in that. But we're going to keep it for reference because they put it out there. And we also understand that some national insurance cards are given out to people who were here, entered this country on false documents, and are now having cards to pay national insurance. Any crap like this? What kind of nonsense is this? And you telling me you have all these millions, I don't know where they've got these millions from, but they say they spent to improve this system of immigration. I don't see any improvement. I don't see the results of it. What I do see is more and more people here in our country. This is Professor Sidney McGard, Walter Thompson. Lines are open 326-0272-813-0271. We'll be back after the break.
99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. In fact, there was a group of Bahamians who took action against the government of the Bahamas on the same matter relating to citizenship and immigration. And they were warning the Bahamian people about this. Now it has come right out into the forefront because nothing has been done about it to the point where we are bringing it under control. And of course, that matter before the court has to be dealt with. And it's a very, very serious issue. And we're going to see what we can do to get it speeded up because Bahamians, this thing is out of control in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And the government is saying there's not a crisis. Now, of course, there are people who may agree with that. But when I look at all this evidence that I have in front of me, I cannot say that we don't have a crisis. We have a serious crisis. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
I want to know if you know the man for the register for the voters card. What do you name? Because I heard him speaking. I think him talking, but talking like I think about two or 3 days ago, talking about they claim the register of the dead people
yeah,
and other things like
I
that.
heard that too. Yeah,
That's Mr. Harrison Thompson.
Harrison Thompson.
But
yeah.
I don't think they do that. Because when he's talking, he had a little smirk on his face, like yeah, you say whatever, we can say whatever, but we ain't gonna do it. It's like something that's not right with this. It's like the PLP, what PLP doing? They trying to bring in voters right now.
Okay.
Because this ain't making no sense. It's like, because right now, I think we're becoming like a scientist, like invent something in the air, and whoever got that little type blood in them, something happening to them.
Okay.
Because enough of this foolishness, man.
No, we just have too many contradictory statements. And when you look on the ground, caller, as I've been saying in my own area, I am just sick and tired of seeing a bunch of strangers who cannot speak a word of English, standing in front of people's homes, standing in the streets, don't know where they are. We had to run some from our place. And the thing is that it's worse now than ever before. You understand what I'm saying, caller?
I understand.
Yeah. So I can understand your concern.
I can say something else.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, caller. Yes.
And I listen between the Marathon and Blue Road. All I see is a bunch of that's Grandsa Man area. The person on the talk show is saying, Grandsa Man doing a good job, but problem is, I see all kind of strange faces in this area. Is it I can tell you right now. Is it a Haitian or Jamaican?
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't got it. Oh no, man. I'm saying, you're Haitian and Jamaican. That's in this area. And then you got the Chinese on the corner of them, send fake products around, kill us demons.
Okay.
Because I understand. I thought they passed a law, but I can't open on school no more. But the problem is, Chinese are opening around schools. It's like China. See, that's why I understand. That's why it's something that make no sense. Back in the day when Chinese do the gift to the sports center. So if you give the gift to the sports center, the government of Bahamas shouldn't be making no noise, whatever they trying to do.
If you understand the so-called gift, it was only a shell, because the internal workings of that came out of the taxpayers' money to the tune of millions of dollars. Mr. Ingram said that himself. They just had the shell.
I don't believe them. I think they do things under the table. I don't believe them. Because that's foolishness going on. Chinese, Jamaicans, Cubans, Haitians, majoritization. That's enough. Enough. I think us being in them, we gotta put the stuff there. Because I can tell you right now, we don't know Bahamian Prime Minister right now. We have a Haitian Prime Minister. We have half-breed Haitian. We have Haitian half-breed. The following couple of elections. So Lyndon, he was not really a Bahamian. He's mixed. But the problem is, I think him a real demon. Than he is rest of as followers after him.
But this is why
they trade us. poor breed traders. And you know what's happening to traders? Traders need to get hanged. They are traders to come up the Bahamas.
Okay, Carl. Well, we appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much, Brother Taylor. Hyla. Is Taylor still there? I don't know. Are we getting Taylor, Mr. Producer? He's
Okay.
offline. Okay, Brother Cartwright, go ahead.
I was gonna wait for the producer to play those clips from.
Oh, the clips, yes.
Those 2 clips.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we can make a comment on them afterwards.
Right. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Producer. The first one.
To justice, and so it's worrisome what is happening. But I also want to say, no matter what persons were doing, we are concerned when Bahamian lives are lost, and our hearts go out to the family members that are wondering how do we get the remains of our citizens home. And in the case where one of the Bahamians appeared to have survived and the prospects for full recovery may have been there, to only learn later that he has passed. Obviously, they want some answers. We do believe that Ministry of Foreign Affairs should be involved with the family and demonstrate some compassion in terms of providing them with information and diplomatic assistance in how do they, and guidance, how do they get their loved ones back home, and what were the real circumstances surrounding their deaths.
Okay, that's appropriate, Brother Cartwright.
Yeah, this is where you start to look at leadership in the country, because
Yes.
it has nothing to do with the PLP or FNM. And I think the leader of the majority opposition in the parliament, that is a pertinent question that he's putting forward, that citizens, those people had family here.
Of course.
They were Bahamian citizens. So those who are Bahamian citizens, you supposed to look out for them, no matter what they do.
Yeah. Not even what they're accused of doing.
So that's where I look at whereby the administration of today is dropping the ball, because they're like,
Yeah.
well, we waiting. No, you got to be proactive. That's your citizen. You got to understand that that person, those individuals got family members here who are eligible voters. And you got to go to those same people's house and ask for them to give you their support. When you wouldn't give them no reply or help them in that matter right there.
And that is a very, very serious matter.
Yes.
Because the protection for Bahamians outside of the border, something were to happen. You never know when something is going to happen. And whether it's this or that is not the issue. The issue is to have the government of the Bahamas stand back of its citizens. That's the real issue right here. That's why you have an elected government.
Yes.
That's why you have a government in place to benefit the Bahamian people, to look out for your interests. And when people are not prepared to do that, what is the point of having them there to perform on your behalf when you cannot, in very unusual circumstances? You don't know what may happen today or tomorrow. You may decide to go away in a particular country and something can happen and unexpected to you, and you may be caught in a situation where you're completely innocent. But I say that's a different issue altogether. But being able to get the government of the Bahamas to respond to you in time of a crisis,
Yes.
particularly when you're outside the country.
I think we got a caller.
A call on the line?
Yes.
Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Fred Thompson. Carolina from Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Go ahead.
All right. Fred Thompson, I'm going to get straight to the point. 1972, up to 73, 4, 5, immigration was running Takes Island people to the yard.
Wait a minute. What you
Now
talking
Takes
about?
Island people find their place.
Maybe
It's going to be the same way the Haitians find their place.
Stop,
the same way like the Takes
stop,
Island people.
stop.
And we don't
Put the
care.
caller on hold. I don't know what he's talking about. Cartwright, you know anything about this?
No.
I don't know of us now, from the very beginning, having any real problems with Takes Island people. Not in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I don't know anything like that.
No.
I don't know of them making any trouble in the Bahamas. And I know you have quite a few of them down in Grand Bahama. The Grand Bahama people never complain about the Takes Island people.
No, not only that, but if you look at it, and there's something which Bahamians don't realize, is that when you look at from Inagua, even parts of Meguana, you come up that chain where we call those islands where you had a lot of pine or timber.
Yes.
Abaco, Inagua, Grand Bahama, Andres. Most of those areas were basically developed or were cut down by Turks Islanders. And so I just found out that some names that I always thought were strictly Bahamian, I found out that some of these names are Turks Islanders.
Turks Islanders, yeah.
Names like Cox.
Yes.
Names like Stubbs. I found that there's a lot of Stubbs in Turks Island.
Right, yes.
And so when you hear the names, and then you start reflecting, people tell you, listen, yes, these, don't forget now, these were part of the Bahamas.
Bahamas, yeah.
When you look at the parliament shows you that Turks Island had a representative in the House of Assembly.
That is correct.
So
yeah.
all of these things that when we look at, we have to take them into. But the thing is, what I always tell people that I think the producer has the clip with the former Prime Minister.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. But I just wanted to comment that, as far as I know,
yes,
and we have never had any problem with Turks Island people to the degree like we have with the Haitian people.
No.
They were in the Bahamas, and there has never been any major national problem with Turks Island people.
No.
They made their contribution. We appreciate that. They're very peaceful people. And I am sure if that was a problem in Grand Bahama, we would have heard it long time. If it was a problem in New Providence, we would have heard of it long time, or any other part of the country.
Yes.
Mr. Bruce, you could play the second tape, please.
Are the immigrants the problem? The answer is no. We are the problem. We, the Bahamian people, are the problem. And the problem is corruption and greed. We have laws. We have sufficient laws. We have adequate laws. It's just a matter of enforcement. If we enforce our laws, then we won't have the problem. So this is a beautiful country. And all we need to do is enforce our laws. The laws are there. We don't need to come to this parliament every darn week passing law after law, which don't mean.
Well, it seems that the former Prime Minister was highly upset.
Yes.
And in a way, I agree with him most all of it, but the part that I did not really solely agree with is when he said that if migrants are a problem. Yes, they are.
They are a problem.
Because if they don't abide by your laws, then they are a problem.
Yes.
So both go hand in hand.
Of course they do.
And so, yes, we do need to enforce. And like he said, we need people to be honest. And that's why I was saying to you earlier, Professor, that when you look at immigration, foreign affairs, and national security, you should have certain levels of protections in those agencies.
Yes.
That for those who are non-Bahamians, if they are residents and they happen to be working in those areas, they can only access certain information.
And that's it.
And that's it. And I think that's what we need to start looking at.
I think so too.
Strengthening our policies in those key areas. I think we got another caller.
Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Professor Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
Wasn't Dr. Minister one who said that the immigrants entitled to crown land? If I could remember well.
But I can't, right?
I can't remember that part.
I don't recall.
I would be remiss in saying yes. I couldn't put my hair on the chopping block and say that. But
yeah, I remember reading that, and he said that they are entitled to crown land, and he wanted to say give them abaco. I remember that in piece of paper.
Well, I noticed yesterday when he was speaking on the bill, basically, I'll go off track, is that he was speaking to the land reform and the crown land, and most people I think missed the part that he said something that no one paid attention to. And I told someone, the man said yesterday in Parliament, the Crown, the Bahamas government owns 2.8 million acres of land, British administration. And I could hear in the background that the MP for West End was saying, well, all land is Crown land. Yes, but here's the thing. The land that is basically what we call private land, means that Crown grants, people buy. But Crown land, and he said something in his speech, he said, don't care what you do, if you give the land to Bahamians, he said every Bahamian should have Crown land. But he said that the land could never be sold to no one else but a Bahamian, which was something that I was shocked to hear coming out of Parliament, because no one in Parliament is talking in that kind of language.
Yes.
But you can only be a citizen there is no such thing as a private citizen. And I would go further to say that for me personally, I would not want no more land in the Bahamas. I don't care whether it's keys, whatever, be sold to any non-Bahamian. Now, if you want to do a development, at least I have no problem. But buying land, because what we don't realize is that the price of land, the foreigners drives up the price of land. And once that price go up, Bahamian doesn't have money and stuff. And so even if, I've heard Mr. Bain speaks about giving Crown land. I've heard Dr. Minnis yesterday in his contribution saying that now, and I didn't realize that subdivisions did not come underneath this new land act. And he's saying that they need to add that so that when those persons get their land or their deed or whatever, they now would be able to register, because the thing is that it only goes through the subdivision.
Yes.
And so I said, well, there were some good things, but in all essence, everyone basically who I heard made their contribution, made tangible contribution that is something that finally we start to see a little bit where in the parliament that they all agreed, but they were taking different roads to get to the same point. But that is something I appreciated more to hear and see than to see them just sit down and just bicker and bicker and bicker and bicker.
Yeah, well, I don't care what the deal is, but I don't want nobody to come in here who ain't Bahamian.
No, you should not.
Line and do, because they can't go nowhere else in the world and do it. The Bahamas belong to us.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And we should not be sharing anything with anybody else, because the problem is that this is the only country that we have. And I, of course, heard some of the remarks that were being made. And I said to myself, what took them so long? You had a political party in there occupying seats in the Senate and in the House of Assembly. Next year would make 70 years. The next political party had it for 54 years. Okay, going on 55 next year. The point is, you have to ask yourself, what it took them so long? And when you listen to the remarks that they made, how Bahamians have been suffering. And people who were kicking the can down the road. I think they got a call on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
And Professor, I'll be very quick. I just wanted to confirm what that woman said, since Mr. Cartwright said he'd be remiss if he confirmed it. But yes, Dr. Minnis did say that. But that was back in the time when they used to use the term residence. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The residents supposed to have.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, I would say if that's the case, no, I don't think that nobody who's a non-citizen, this is where I've always stand, no non-citizen should have ownership in land, because what you're doing is that you're depriving that land from a Bahamian.
From a Bahamian, yeah. That's
and so
correct.
that has always been my stand. So if that's what he's talking about with residents, no. I tell people I don't subscribe to that preaching.
No, I don't either.
Yes.
You only have a limited amount of land. Land does not keep growing.
No.
Okay, and the problem is that, a lot of people have problems with not even understanding the things that they're doing now. But I heard them talking about kicking the can down the road. Now, you had these two major political parties. One been there 70 years next year, and the other one 55 years. Consistent opportunities to deal with this most urgent issue relating to land, and of course also with the immigration issue, same thing. And the point is, you have to ask yourself, well, what has been happening all this time? Why is it not have been dealt with?
Well, Professor, what I've seen is that I listened to some of the input that came out of Parliament yesterday, and I listened to the MP for St. Anne's, and he was saying something that he said, we have these laws that we are passing now, and we have the old laws. And he's trying to say, listen, all we need to do is tweak the old laws. We don't need to be changing and adding laws. As the former Prime Minister just said also.
Okay.
We can tweak, because that's why I was talking about when you look at your constitution and you look at your statute laws.
Yes.
You should
Some things need to be tweaked. Yeah.
You can tweak it.
Yes.
So just because here's the thing. And I was telling someone this the other day, I said, I don't have a problem with people having land, But I always say to people that if you give out land, people say, oh, well, there's so many land you can just give out. I say, but each generation will come behind us. There's generations behind us.
Yes.
And they want land also. So
Of
you
course.
can't sit down and say, well, your father don't want this thing and give you. Some fathers, they had land and never left it for their children.
No, they didn't. Yeah. I
So,
believe you have a
another
call on
caller.
the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
go ahead. Speak a little louder.
Okay. Mr. Cartwright is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's
I'm
here.
here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I noticed that your friend Sips is not running in the next general election.
Who's
that he talking about?
Which friend of mine?
Sips.
I don't know. I'll have to find out.
All right. Sips is the man from the Michael constituency.
Okay.
Carmichael?
The man who was sitting down on his mouth for 4 years.
Oh, you're talking about my good friend, Mr. Basil McIntosh.
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
call him Zips.
Okay. But he
But
means
didn't he
well,
say
you
he's
know.
not?
Mean well?
Well, here's why I say he means well. What I find that with a lot of those gentlemen inside that place called the Parliament, when they get in there, they're hard as so. But the problem with them is that they don't know the difference between being a parliamentary representative and a party representative.
Yeah, that's correct.
And a lot of times they carry that baggage of party
On
and
the-
so, inside that
inside
place.
the place,
And what has happened, and then you start to talk and you listen to them and you educate them, they say, whoa, I didn't know that. And but then when they try to go against or stand up, here's the problem they face. And I tell people, listen, it's sad that we see it in Parliament. A fella could get up and stand for truth and justice. But because the rest of his colleagues sit right there and say, boy, I ain't gonna take, he brave, but I ain't gonna stand with him. You put him on an island by himself, and he looks around to see who's with me. And he said, but you know what? I didn't know this was gonna be like this. I get
That's
no.
right. Yeah, no.
And they leave. If you realize something, I'll tell you another thing which no one paid attention to. Do you realize that for the first time in the history of the Bahamas, we have right now, out of the administration of today, we have roughly about 5 or 6, maybe more, sitting incumbents will not be running in the next general election.
Yeah.
That is odd. That's very odd. You don't see the government of the day have that many people. Might have 1, might get 2, but they have roughly about 6 people are contemplating if they're going to run or will not run. That tells you that there's something going on.
Something is happening.
Isn't right. And so some people rather walk away. Some people might stick around and fight. Some people say, you know what? Do what you all want to do. Because I always tell people that when you look at that area, what we call Michael, and I've been putting something together, and I said, why can't we make that area of Michael a shipping port hub for the Bahamas, us Bahamians? And they said, you guys, what do you mean? I said, not a dock or not a hotel for private groupings of Bahamians. I am talking for the whole Bahamas to own. That shipping lane down there in Michael, with the island of Maguana. People don't realize, and I'll educate them on this. Michael was the first post office in the Bahamas.
Hello.
And the cargo ships from Africa and Europe passes Michael to go to the U.S. and other parts. So imagine if you could put a container hub. The people in there would also benefit from it because why? They would be providing housing.
Of course.
And so it's a lot of those things that I tell people that they need to look into to help. But, you know, I say to my Fix Smith brothers and sisters, I will read your comments tomorrow because tomorrow I'll have a little bit more open line, but I'll be able to speak to a lot of it that I see you guys. I apologize I didn't get to it, but I will turn the last 2 minutes over to the professor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Bahamians, we have a lot of issues, and immigration is a major issue. Citizenship is a major issue. And of course, the land issue, we'll have to deal with that at another time because that's another major issue. And what puzzled me when I was listening to the comments made by members in the House of Assembly, I wondered why it took them so long. And they were saying how serious this was. And people kicking the can down the road. The only people who could have kicked the can down the road were those who've been there for the last 70 years and the last 55 years. they had the authority in their hand to do good for the Bahamian people. What did they do with it? This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FN. Of course, tomorrow is Open Line Friday. Anything you want to discuss tomorrow, all on the table for tomorrow. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Remember to pray for your country, Bahamians. Be safe, and let's meet again tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant afternoon.